I missed it. Maybe I missed it. It's supposed to be under. Maybe it's under here. Let's see. I think it's under the original post. It was. Come on, cartoon, be there. Oh, there it is. Here's the cartoon. This is the Owen Benjamin cartoon. And let me just show you what he says before I play this cartoon. The voice you're going to hear in these cartoons, I think this cartoon was made for Owen Benjamin because it's his voice, unless he voiced over a cartoon that already exists. Okay, Owen Benjamin says, This is what will happen to your property rights without government. Anarchy is a utopia thought. That's a lot. He doesn't understand anarchy if he's saying that. It's the highest moral thought. It's leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. I'll do my thing. If we want to engage in some kind of a business deal or whatever, it's going to be done under the, consensual voluntary arrangement that we do as adult to adult. So he says anarchy is utopian thought, thought up by wealth white detached perverts that have no concept whatsoever of the reality of most of the world. So that's another logical fallacy. It's like, why don't you take the concept of anarchy on its own merits, not who created and who thought up this anarchy idea, which may or may not be true. We don't even know. But you know what? Nobody has to make up anarchy. Just ask yourself a question. Do you want to be messed with if you're not up for being messed with? Do you want money stolen from you if you don't want money stolen from you? The answer is no. Well, that's anarchy. Will you steal money for somebody else? Will you harm somebody? I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this. If you knew you could get away with it, would you rob somebody? If you knew for a fact that you could get away with it scot-free, would you kill somebody? Would you rape somebody? Would you do wrong to anybody? Would you just punch somebody in the face just to see what it feels like because you knew you could get away with it? I would contend that the majority, I mean a high majority of the people in my audience and around the world would not. If they had the opportunity to do evil to somebody. Now, I'm not saying that there's not those people out there. There are. And they do evil even with government, even know that there's a high possibility it's risk on for them. If they know if they rob the bank, there's a high possibility they ain't getting away with it, but they'll do it anyway. So I have no doubt that there are people in society where if they knew they could get away with it, they would do all those bad things to people because that's the kind of people they are. But the majority of the people are not like that. The majority of the people just want to be left alone. They want to put in a good day's work. They want to provide for their families. They want to be good people. They want to contribute to society, or they just want to be left alone and be reclusive or whatever. They want to have vacations. They want to enjoy life. And they want to go to bed with a clear conscience. I bet that's most people. So Owen Benjamin says, let me just read it over. This is what will happen to your property rights without the violent, oppressive machine of the state. Let's just put it that way. The right to rule. Without the right to rule, you got no property rights. That's ridiculous. You got no property rights with the right to rule. Do you think you own your property under the current government regime? You don't. You stop making payments, i.e. property taxes, you're going to lose everything. Everything in that house, they're going to foreclose on it. They're going to bring men with guns. They're going to drive you out. You don't own your property. Under an anarchist scenario, you absolutely would, because people would be sensitized to morality so much that if anybody tried to take your property under anarchy, they would be severely punished. That's if you got a lot of people on board with that. And it's not hard because you can demonstrate that it's right. It's the right thing to do. He says anarchy is a utopia thought up by white, detached perverts that have no concept whatsoever of the reality of most of the world. I contend that the people who don't have anything, they're detached from reality, are the people who imagine that other people have the right to rob and rule them. All territory and possessions is defended by force. Yep. And there's two kinds of force. There's illegitimate force, which is initiated on innocent people who just want to be left alone. And there's legitimate force when you're defending your life or your property. And I don't think he understands this. I mean, he's demonstrating that he doesn't. Any man claiming territory or possession must defend it with force. And that is legitimate force. And under anarchy, that's exactly what you do. The non-aggression principle doesn't mean you never show aggression. It means you never initiate the aggression. You never start the fight. It doesn't mean you're not going to eventually engage in the fight. If you're sitting on a subway with your little 5-year-old trying to make your way home, and three thugs walk up and start trying to take your kid, what are you going to do? You're going to fight like both of your lives depend on it, because they do. You are going to go ballistic. You're going to do whatever it takes to bring them down and get the heck out of there. That's not non-aggression. That is the utmost of aggression. And I can't think of anything more right to do than defend your little 5-year-old on a subway as you're, being confronted by assailants. Individuals can't, so they develop a public system called government. It's as though there's no other option. Oh, we got to have government. We got to have illegitimate means of defense where they rob us and rule us and pretend to secure us. Let me ask you, Owen, what percentage of police show up after the crime has committed? What percentage of the time do they show up? According to their own statistics, it's north of 95%. They don't get there in time. They only get there in time to write the report and order the body bags, if so necessary. Call in the cleanup crew and the EMS. It's almost as though, oh yeah, you're anarchist, but you can't organize. You can't organize for self-defense. You can't organize a neighborhood watch. Guess what? We have a neighborhood watch in our neighborhood. No government is involved. It's just everybody got in the, what's it called? Not a council meeting. It's just some kind of meeting every 3 months. And everybody said, hey, let's watch each other's back. People set up cameras. There's this neighborhood watch thing on phones where if there's, a lost dog or somebody prowling the neighborhood, and we all are on lookout. No government necessary. And you could do that with, the militia minded and go, hey, you know what? I'm being robbed right now. Push this button, an alert goes out to 50 people in your neighborhood. Everybody comes over. The threat is gone. It's over. 50 guns come out against 3 guns. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, things might get ugly, but you don't need the police. You don't need to call 911. Wait till you hear what he says in this comment. Let me this cartoon. Every single group of people in human history for all time. A forceless world is the fantasy of a rich white pervert who has never been hungry and has always possessed things based on paper. This is kind of a smokescreen argument, isn't it? Because if anarchy, which is the morally high position of don't mess with people who are not messing with you, which is what it is, it's not a fantasy. And it doesn't matter if let's say a pervert came up with it. Let's say Eugene Stoner was a pervert and he liked little people. Are you going to throw away your AR-15? Let's say Mikhail Kalashnikov was he liked altar boys and as he served in his local church, and you found out that there are 75 victims that he had. Are you going to throw away your AK-47? No. Doesn't matter. My AK-47 works. It's a great home defense weapon. My AR-15 works. I don't care about Eugene Stoner. Didn't even know he made the gun. I don't know who Mikhail Kalashnikov is. It doesn't matter. What does it matter? What's the relevance of the definition and how you live out anarchy have to do with who coined the word or whatever? It's just common sense. I don't understand this childish attempt at debate. I don't know. Don't listen to these people. It's a trap. Well, the person setting the trap is the person that's embroiled and engaged in logical fallacies. Let's listen to this cartoon.
Don't buy another pair of glasses until you've seen what this new invention can do. These self-adjustable glasses.
Hola! Do you need your bushes trimmed?
Oh, yeah. Mexican, get in here. How much do you pay?
How much do you have?
I'll give you $5 an hour.
Si, senor.
So you can work 100 hours and raise my kids too while I just go get
plowed out by all this. See, I'll raise your children too. Hey, children, you should hate yourself.
And then he stops at the next window.
Hey, children, you should hate yourself.
Now listen closely to his contradiction in this cartoon. It is huge. It is very difficult to miss.
Hola.
Oh, no, I don't need any lawn care.
I'm not here for the lawn. I'm here to take your wife in your home.
No. Sorry, Jose.
This is my house now.
No, but I paid $2.2 million. I put 20% down.
My house. I have the power to take it from you.
Oh, no way, Jose.
I'm here to take your house and your woman.
I'm going to call 911.
There are no police. Policia has gone. I'm here to take your house. Don't you know I'm local?
Oh, no, but I have property rights.
No, you don't have property rights. Property rights only exist if there is enforcement. Do you want to die or do you want to be my slave?
I can show you my deed.
I'll show you my gun.
Well, I don't defend myself. I don't have a gun because I know about Sandy Hook. So I did the courageous thing and I disarmed myself because I know the police are there.
There's no police.
An anarchist is not going to say, I did the courageous thing. I listened to the propaganda on TV about the SH thing and I got rid of my guns. No anarchist who's self-determined and self-responsible for protecting his own house and his own family is going to give up his guns. This is another smokescreen he's throwing up that's absolutely has nothing to do with reality. Plus, no anarchist is calling 911. Anarchists, they're no rulers. They're not going to call the police. They're not looking to get involved in the police. They know when cops show up, it usually doesn't go good for you. What happens when you call a welfare check on somebody? The person they're supposed to be checking the welfare on, and video after video after video, well, they kind of don't make it through the experience. So the guy at the front door is supposed to be an anarchist, but he gave up his guns and he's going to call the police and he's not going to stand there and defend himself and his family. And he's going to let his property get taken because there's 3 cholos outside who've got guns. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Owen.
I have 50.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think anything other than Iron Arm says Owen is intellectually dishonest. It'll be pointless debating him. Like at this point, man, I wanted him to be a good faith actor. I wanted him to be acting in good faith, but I don't see it. It's almost like he's going out of his way not to understand terms, not to understand that he's throwing up logical fallacies, and not to understand that it just looks like he's being disingenuous.
Homies, why do you think we have tattoo of teardrop on our face? We've committed murder. And then we came to America. We were making money and waiting for our time to take your house. We hate you.
Well, I'm going to call the police.
There are no police.
I'm going to call the police. Okay, I'm not going to play the rest of this because he shoots this guy and it gets pretty graphic. So I'm not going to show this. If you want to see the rest of it, let's see. I'll just. Here's the link. Here's the Twitter link, and that goes under mine. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me there and on Rumble. So that's pretty much it. Here's my Rumble channel. Let me drop the link to this as well. Let me go to the comments here, see what you guys are saying. Let me just drop this link real quick. Yeah, that's what I plan on doing, Seven Sons. You're going to have to set the debate by defining, well, there's a couple terms that I'm going to define. And the first term that I'm going to define is government or statism. We got to be clear on what that is. It is just a mental construct. It's not rooted in reality. It's complete fantasy. And it really is along the lines. It's down on the bottom of the totem pole of superstitions, along with, making the sign of the cross, holy water, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy. It's all down. Government, the right to rule is non-existent. It's non-existent. And it's highly immoral because there are people who think that they have the right to rule, and then they vote for people who think they have the right to rule, and then these people make these things called laws, which is also a fiction. It's just the opinion of politicians backed by the threat of force. And then you got guys with guns who are willing to come to your door because of this fiction. So it's not that agents of government are not real, that police aren't real, that there's not a physical reality of something called politicians in Washington, D.C., but it's all predicated on the supposed right of these people to rule over everybody else. And it's just fiction. And then, defining anarchy, defining what organization is. I'm sure that open borders, closed borders is going to be coming up. But anything that the agents of government do for you, anything that the police department does for you is rooted in theft, coercion, force, kidnapping, murder, all the evil things under the sun that nobody wants in any society. So to say that society can't run unless we have psychopaths who are going to imprison, cage, kidnap, threaten, and steal from us, you have got to be freaking off your rocker if you think we can't build a system. We can't build structurally sound bridges unless we're threatening people. Give us your money so we can build that bridge. Guys, that's another thing. Defining the free market. First of all, we don't have a free market because we have a fiat currency Ponzi scheme system based on the Federal Reserve and their issuance and value of the currency. So it's not a free market anyway. Is there freedom in our current free market? Yes, there is. Because you can take your dollars and you can buy something anonymously. That's anarchy. You can engage in a voluntary business transaction with your neighbor in your house away from all the cameras, and it's not logged anywhere. You can buy those brownies for $5, or you can get that, service that you wanted. You can go to a chiropractor and get your back popped with cash, and nobody's going to know that you did it. So there is anonymity. There is freedom within this so-called free market, but even Owen doesn't even understand the free market. Let me give you a quote that he said about free market. I put it in my last video. Quote, "The free market doesn't want solutions." The free market is all about coming up with solutions. Here's proof right here. The computing power that I have in my hand, I don't have to leave my house. If I want to find something out, I don't even have to hold my phone. All I have to do is say, HEY, hey Google. And then it just starts coming up. Look at that. How can I help? Here, let's just do it. Hey, Google. Who is Owen Benjamin?
According to Wikipedia, Owen Benjamin Cares Troy Smith, known professionally as Owen Benjamin, is an American conspiracy theorist, internet personality, white supremacist, as well as a far-right and alt-right neo-Nazi.
All right. So the free market doesn't want solutions when that's all the free market is all about. The free market is you and me. I have desires, wants, and needs. I want to make a living and produce